Alright, this tutorial is going to be about how to create the schedules for the tutors in Tutortrac. This is called availability in Tutortrac. These are the available times for appointments. So the first thing we need to do is go to a spot where we can start setting up the appointments. Not the appointments, the availability. Now there's several ways of doing it. One way is by clicking to appointments and then clicking the tutor that you want to create availability for. Make sure you do your center that you want to do it for first. That way you can start creating it for them. This view is not the best because it only does it for the current day. I find it's more useful to do it for a week schedule. So I'm going to set up some actual appointments for Joe Tutor. So in order to do this, what we do is we click on View Week Schedule right up at the top, and then it gives us the entire week for Joe's schedule. And then we can start setting up his weekly schedule, and it's a lot easier to see and view. So first thing we do is click on Create Availability, and it gives us a form that we need to fill out to create some appointments. So what we're going to do is create some appointments over 3 different periods at BYU Hawaii. At BYU Hawaii we have 70-minute class periods during the day, and we'd like to set them up as 35-minute appointments apiece. That way we can get in 2 per hour for the tutor. So the first thing we need to do is we need to set the appointment start time, which is 8:40 a.m. and we need to know the duration of it. But let's put in some other stuff first. Time is individual, or type is individual, and this group reason, this is if it's a group project, study group, personal tutoring, that kind of thing, you can do there. It doesn't necessarily have to be set up for individual tutoring, I don't think. Location, reading, writing center, and center, make sure it's the correct thing. Now the duration is important, but the problem is you have to put it in number of hours. So I made a little chart to help me know how much I need to do it for. So for example, I mentioned that we wanted to do it for 3 different periods. These are the 70-minute periods here at BYU, and it starts at 8:40, and for 3 periods, it has this number of hours in it. There's 6 35-minute periods for a total of 3.5 hours. So I type in right here 3.5 for the duration. But then down at the bottom, there's another spot where I need to split them up. This splits them into increments of 35 minutes apiece, but we need to know how many hours there are, again, in a 35-minute period. Let me pop my thing right back up if I can find it. There it is. And that is 0.58333, however many times you want to put 3's in there. That's the actual number there. So 0.5833333. This corresponds to 35 minutes. Now, the next part about this is this appointment I'm scheduling for him going to be on a weekly schedule, a daily schedule, Monday, Wednesday, Friday schedule? There's several different ones to choose from. Daily, weekly, Monday through Friday, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, Monday, Wednesday, and Tuesday, Thursday. We're going to say this is a weekly schedule, and it's going to be his Monday schedule. And so I say I want to redo it every week, and that's what this 1 means. If I put a 2 down, that means do it every 2 weeks, and so forth. I'm going to say every week, and I want to do it for a 13-week semester. So if that's the case, if the semester is 13 weeks, I need to redo this 12 times. But I'm not in a 13-week semester right now, so I'm just going to show you, for an example, do it 1 more time. So this does it 2 weeks, starting this week, and then does it next week. So I have 1 remaining one the following week. So then I'm ready to save it, and when I click Save, you might look at it and think, wait a minute, it changed. But it hasn't, because it split the entire time up into these increments of 0.58333. Now, if you don't put in 58333, you might get more appointments than are necessary because it's not a very nice number. But nonetheless, it will work if you just make sure you give it enough decimal places. We can see Joe's schedule now by going back to Return and reloading the schedule page right here. And there it is, 8:40 all the way to 12:10. So he has 3 different periods. So 1 period, 2 periods, 3 periods, that we schedule appointments every half hour for him. Now, what if it needed to be that you need to delete an actual appointment later? So to delete an appointment, all you do is click on the actual appointment you have. And if you're trying to delete it for a long period of time, you can do it. All you have to do is follow the directions right down here at the bottom. And this says right here, note, to delete a recurring availability, first change the total remaining to 0 and then save. Then delete the availability. So we're going to remove his 8:40 time slot because he's not going to do that one at all. He's not going to show up till 9:10 or whatever the time period was. So we first change this to 0 and then hit save. And then we come down here and we hit delete. Select OK, and then return to the previous menu and then reload it. And lo and behold, there his appointment's gone. Now if you notice, if you go to the next week, it's not there either. And you go to the next week, and nothing's there. That's because we only had to do it for 2 weeks. But that's a short synopsis of how you set up appointments for your tutors. Not appointments, sorry. That's how you set up the availability for your tutors in Tutortrac.